When you think about Lord of the Rings, you think about the books, or Peter Jackson's movies, not you. Or if you're really cool like me when I was a kid, you think about the Middle-earth Warhammer strategy game. Nerd! And then there's some of you that don't think about any of those things when you hear The Lord of the Rings. You think back to the year of 1978, a year when Space Invaders first launched, the first test tube baby was successfully born, and Ashton Kutcher was born. But most importantly, you think about the Lord of the Rings, the animated film, directed by Ralph Bakshi, the man who brought us the meme of a show that was Spider-Man.
My spider sense tells me this cake isn't for eating. It's for throwing! Your cake!
I recently watched this film, and I gotta say, I thought it was hilarious.
Be careful, Frodo.
Boom! Overall, when it came out, it had a lot of mixed reviews, with some people really loving it and some people just hating it. Personally, I'm on the side of, I wish they had gone in a different direction with a lot of aspects of this film. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about some of the areas that I thought could have used a lot of improvement. The overall look and feel of this film is just goofy.
Gosh. Sneaking off and sneaking back. Sneaking! Sneaking!
The animation is okay, but when you compare it to things that had already come out by 1978, it doesn't really hold up that well.
Ah! Legolas!
A lot of the character designs are very questionable. Like, Sam just looks like an old woman.
Seems to be a record of the colony.
And Aragorn looks like that guy from No Country for Old Men. Also, give this man some pants, or leggings, or something. I guess the race of men prefers to just air things out, because Boromir has a similar style.
Who's there?
Boromir.
I was afraid for you, Frodo. Come with me, Frodo. Let me try, Frodo.
No, Boromir. No.
Fool, obstinate fool! It should be mine! Give it to me!
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
And then there's Treebeard.
Well, they carried us and cut our rope, ran into the forest, and we came to your hill and...
Why did they have to give him a butt?
A wizard should know better.
Speaking of wizards, there isn't anything necessarily wrong with Gandalf's physical appearance, but they really made him seem like such a jerk in this film.
And who are they to be?
That is what we're trying to decide here.
Take a chill pill, old man.
I'm afraid we have a new and closer problem at hand. You have not asked me why I was late getting back to the Shire.
I forgot. I don't care if you didn't ask. The world does not revolve around you.
Also, there's one scene where Gimli's height is really inconsistent with the rest of the film. I don't know if it's just the angle, but he seems to be the same height as Legolas for at least a couple shots. That is one tall dwarf.
With a ping in the pond, the pretty springs broke, and jumped over the moon.
Look at him!
Characters aside, a lot of the animation is really, really over the top.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
Like, what is going on with your eyes, my guy? They over-animate gestures and facial features, when in reality, they could have saved a lot of time and money and just let things be. And their overuse of slow-mo in certain scenes really shows how lazy they were with their animation. I think the movie would be pretty decent, but a major problem in the film is that not all Middle-earthlings are made equal. For anyone that isn't a main-ish or recurring character, they really cheaped out on their designs. They actually used a technique called rotoscoping, which is a technique of animating over live-action shots, and frankly, it looks really, really, really bad. Obviously, I'm not a professional animator, but personally, watching this film, I think they could have made some improvements. They use this method to cut costs, which is fair, but it makes the film look ridiculous. Like, these guys are supposed to be the ring race. And since they didn't put very much effort into rotoscoping the background characters, there wasn't any room for differentiation between the orcs, the uruks, and the goblins. So they all just kind of look like this. And that means there's no room for characters like Lurtz, or even cave trolls. But at least they have the Balrog. Oh my gosh, this just looks so bad you can't help but laugh. Those legs though. And I'm sorry, but is that supposed to be Eomer? Also, I think due to the complications with the rotoscope, the sound design for the orcs sounds really strange. There's one scene where they talk, and it's hilarious and weird all at the same time.
Maggots can't run.
Oh, so you come on this little expedition too. When do we get bed and breakfast?
Bed and breakfast, bed and breakfast.
Twin Peaks Breakfast operates year-round. Come see for yourself what makes it so special.
It's really odd when they have the more anime characters interact with the less anime characters. Like, you can tell that they don't belong together, and it's just awkward. Oh, good effort there, Aragorn.
This way! Frodo! Frodo!
You should probably look where you run, right?
Not a tree herder.
Please, Treebeard, now that you know our story...
This movie covers not only the Fellowship of the Ring, but also most of the Two Towers as well, which is well over 1,000 pages of text in just over 2 hours. Yep. So, there's some pacing issues with this adaptation. I mean, Peter Jackson's adaptations cover the book's content in three 3+ hour movies, and even then people complain that there should have been more movies. As a result, in my opinion, the animated film leaves a lot to be desired, especially when it comes down to scenes that are supposed to be emotionally impactful. Like, that's it. You just watched your friend fall to his death, and that's all you got? That's pretty much the extent of Frodo's reaction to Gandalf's fall. And then he's just like a grumpy baby afterwards.
I'm all right. What does it matter now?
It matters. We still have a long road and much to do.
Why? We've no hope without Gandalf. You know that, Aragorn.
Then we must do without hope. There is always vengeance.
Wow. That is horrible, horrible life advice from a future king. As you can imagine, they cut a lot of corners with certain scenes to progress the plot.
But help now. Go after Merry and Pippin and guard them, even if you cannot find Frodo. Go on! Follow me, Sam. Stay close.
Whoa, Sam Ganji. Your legs are too short, so use your head. The boats!
I know you and Frodo are close friends, or maybe even more than friends, but how did you figure this one out, Samwise? Mr. Frodo just loves his boats, everyone knows it. Also, at the beginning of the movie, Merry and Pippin just appear without any explanation. But then, at other times, they spend way too much time on certain scenes. Like this running scene when Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are pursuing Merry and Pippin goes on forever. I get that they wanted to show the vastness of Middle-earth, but I don't agree with the direction of cutting out emotionally impactful scenes whilst keeping this in. And they barely put any time into the fight scenes too. You know, supposedly the most exciting parts of the movie are just completely skipped over. And all the fight scenes are pretty much like this. They don't waste any time building up suspense. There's no room for much of anything in this adaptation, but then they'll cover things that don't matter, like Sam's love for the elves.
Me go, sir. Me go and see the elves. Oh, my. Oh, hooray! Oh, Sam.
These scenes in this adaptation are the most emotionally impactful ones, and in the grand scheme of the story, does it really matter? All I'm saying is the writers made some poor choices when it came with pacing and storytelling. They decided to wrap up everything at the end of the Battle of Helm's Deep.
The forces of darkness were driven forever from the face of Middle-earth by the valiant friends of Frodo.
I guess that's it then. All the build-up about the ring, and Frodo and Sam going to Mount Doom and meeting Gollum was for nothing? Rohan's saved though, so fuck the rest of Middle-earth and let's party. I'm a big fan of Peter Jackson's film adaptations, so maybe I'm biased in making this video. And I'm not trying to be that guy who's like,
OMG, Peter Jackson's movies are way better.
Because frankly, comparing the two adaptations would be like comparing apples and oranges.
And in place of the Dark Lord, you will set up a queen, but beautiful and terrible as the morning and the night. Strong all shall love me and despair.
As you can see, the animated film went in a different direction for a lot of scenes like this one, and that's perfectly fine. That's kind of the beauty of adapting a book series. You get to interpret it how you want. That doesn't mean that people will agree with your adaptation though, but hey, everyone's a critic, especially me apparently. But for the points that I made throughout this video, this film adaptation really misses the mark, and it doesn't hold up as a standalone film. If you knew nothing about Lord of the Rings and you watched this movie, I don't think it would make any sense. The pacing is all over the place, and they don't take the time to explain important aspects of the story. So you leave this film wondering what the hell you just watched. So for that reason alone, I don't think it's a very good adaptation.
You simple-minded.
But filmmaking is complicated, so I want to take some time and talk about the things that were going on behind the scenes for this film in particular, because after doing some research, there were a lot of weird things going on, especially things involving the director who was a bit of a nutcase in my opinion. And, you know, knowing these things, it might make you like the movie a little more, or it might make you just hate it, but that's for you to decide. Unlike this movie, this video is getting 2 parts, so stay tuned for part 2 where we go behind the scenes.